What's going on, YouTube? I'm Bubba Levy. Today I want to talk to y'all about how I started driving trucks and what my experience has been like so far. So I got my CDL in 2016, July 3rd, 2016. But before I got my CDL, it's a story. It's a long story. I was working at Home Depot warehouse, Home Depot RDC in Houston, Texas. I worked there for 2 years and 7 months. So from the time that I was 18 until I was like 21. And I started off, I was doing something called pallet builds. I was building pallets. But as time went on, I started, I was really good at it. So I became a trainer. I was training people, all that kind of stuff. And then it was like, well, we like your production or whatever. So, what you think about loading trucks. So I ended up becoming a loader, and I would load, that kind of stuff, and I got real good at loading. And then they started doing something called manual floor load or something like that. So it's like, basically you just, instead of loading pallets in the trucks, you would build the truck up with, walls of boxes. So I was like, I was like in the trial system of doing that, me and like 2 other people, and I was really good at it. So I did that, and they decided to move forward with that, I guess because it allowed them to put more freight on trucks. So what they did was they made it, they spread it across the whole company. They sent me and a few people from the job, people that work like on different shifts. They sent us all to Alabama. I forgot what part, but I know they sent us to Alabama. So we went out to Alabama, and I worked out there for about 2 weeks. So, you working 12-hour shifts, you know what I'm saying? And I was making about $15 and some change an hour, something like that, $15.85. And then, we was working 12-hour shifts, over there 7 days a week. So, go over there, you could make a pretty decent amount of money. Well, for me at the time, 20 finna be 21, that was decent. So, I went over there. I don't know how much money I made, but I came back, and my pops was a truck driver. And I just seen, like, what he was able to do driving trucks. So, I was like, shit, 21, I like to travel. I want to make some money. I'm just tired of seeing this orange, you know what I'm saying? Because Home Depot is just full of orange. I'm tired of seeing that, so I'm like, shit, I've been here too long, everybody in here older than me, what I'm saying? I'm ready to live my life. Like I said, I like to travel, stuff like that. So I seen trucking as an opportunity for me to get out and live a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? And I guess face the fear or whatever, So, and I just really wanted to get my life started, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to be able to, live on my own and all that kind of stuff. I still was living with my parents. So I went out there, I made some money, came back to Houston. Somebody that I used to work with at Home Depot, we went to school together. He ended up getting his CDL, and he went to this school. And he told me about the school. He was telling me all the money he was making and stuff. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, that's what's up, bro. Like, hey, you done came up. At least at the time, that's what you think coming up is. You that kind of money. I guess 40,000 seems like a lot of money. So I ended up going to the school. I paid $1,600. I went to the school. I studied for my test. I went and took all my tests and I passed all my tests. All the written tests, I passed them like on the first shot. I ain't failed now. One of them I don't believe. Yeah, I ain't failed none of them, So, okay, I did that. And then I went back to the school. They started teaching me how to drive the truck. So I started driving the truck. Okay. So I had my first test date. I pass the inspection, and then once I do the inspection, I go to do the parallel parking, and it's 3 orange cones parallel to like a curb, right? A long curb. It's long enough for like 2 semis, 70, 70-foot semis. It's long enough for 2 of them to park, like in these spots. So between the 3 cones, you basically got 2 parking spots. So I'm at the top. I'm basically between, I'm closer to the front of the building at the DPS office, and it's like, I'm by the first cone. That's where the head of the truck is. So I started doing my parallel parking. She just told me to go. She didn't say, hey, parallel park right here, parallel park right there. So for me, I see 2 positions that I can parallel park in. I just started parallel parking in from where I was versus pulling up to all the way to the first cone, and because I was in between the first cone and the second cone, but instead of pulling all the way up to the first cone and then I just started parallel parking between the second cone and the third cone. So I'm parallel parking. I ain't hit nothing. I'm doing a great job to my understanding. So my instructor had already told me that the lady that was going to be testing me was hard. She was like, yeah, he was like, man, she's difficult, like that lady tough or whatever, right? So I'm like, all right, cool, that I ain't tripping on that. So I go parallel park, or I'm parallel parking, and as I'm parallel parking, I hear a whistle. Stop. Pull forward. Pop your brakes. You failed. I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is you talking about? I failed? You tripping? Like, I failed, I've been practicing for this. I've been dedicating a lot of time to this, and you talking about I failed. Okay. So I say, how I failed? Say, well, I didn't tell you to parallel park right there. Well, you didn't tell me where to parallel park. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't tell me parallel park right there. That shit looked like a parallel parking spot, So I go and I get the manager of the DPS. I'm in Rosenberg, Texas, by the way. So I'm like, man, hey, she talking about I failed, but I didn't even hit a cone or anything. At least if I would have failed, like, let me hit something. That way you got a real reason as to why you failed me, but you really don't have no reason as to why you failed me other than I parallel parked in the wrong spot. Now, mind you, it's shit. Like, I'm confused. I see 3 cones. That it looks like 2 spots. You see what I'm saying? Like, come on, that's weird. You know what I'm saying? Don't. That's not on me. That's on y'all. So the man, he's like, all right, man, you can come back and take it in the afternoon. Now this is at 8 in the morning. Me and my lady drove 60 miles from Houston to Rosenberg for me to take this test. She with me, all right? I'm thinking I'm just gonna go knock it out, get in the car, we happy, we ride all the way back, we chilling or whatever, right? No, that ain't how it went. So we I park in the parking lot. Because, like, why would I go 120 miles? Why would I drive back to Houston, this drive way back here to 3 o'clock? It's 9 o'clock. We might as well just sit out here and chill. At the time, I was, hey, man, life was so different back then. That's crazy. We was just chilling, man. It was hot, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a 2005 Chevy Impala. It was wide, it was space. I don't know if the AC worked. I think the AC did work. But, I know it was a pretty decent car. I think everything worked in that car. But we was just chilling or whatever. I ain't want to burn no gas because at the time I didn't have a whole bunch of money like that. And I was like, we had the windows down and we just sit in the car. But it's hot, Rosenberg. That shit kind of feel like the desert. You know what I'm saying? So we out there. We waiting. All right, 3 o'clock rolling around. I go blow through everything. Parallel parking, pre-trip, air brakes. I smash it, right? So then once I finished everything, it's time to go on the road. So now we finna get ready to go on the road. Now we get to the light coming from the DPS office, and it's a 4-way intersection, right? This the crazy part. Like, I don't know if I'm wrong. I always take accountability and responsibility, because I feel like in life, if you don't do that, then you ain't gonna never really be able to learn, from anything that you are experiencing. So, I've been doing that for a while, and I always try to find what I did wrong in the situation and how I allowed the situation to go left, or, not necessarily how I allowed it to go left, but things happen the way they're supposed to. At least that's my philosophy. So I believe that, okay, hey, this is a learning experience for me. You know what I'm saying? So I was trying to figure out, how did I fail in this second moment? You know, the first moment, it wasn't me. I didn't, you know, it wasn't me. It wasn't nothing I did. It was life. Right? I'm not gonna blame the lady. I look at everything as life. So life, you know, put me through the first failure. So the second failure, I failed twice in one day. The second failure, we finna get on the road, and it's a forward intersection, and of course, you know, I gotta wait for my green arrow to happen. So my green arrow pops up, and I'm turning left out of the DPS building, right? Now, if I got a green arrow that's saying, hey, go ahead and turn left, there's a car about 100 yards in front of me, but coming towards me, right? It's a little car. It's not even a big car, like a little fast car. Somebody, you know, they had like low wheels on it and shit. They look like they wanted to go fast. So it's 100 yards out. I'm already in the middle of the road, and I'm making my left turn. They speed up to try to make a right turn while I'm making the left turn. Now, I'm still in the middle. I'm not nowhere near hitting them or anything like that. But they speed up. And because they hit their brakes, they slowed down, right? Because I'm already turning. My light was green. My arrow was green. They hit their brakes. She let me drive. She let me drive the whole damn route. We get back, and she failed me because she said that they had to hit their brakes. I should have yielded and gave them the right of way. How? Tell me how. When my arrow was green, you know. But again, I gotta hold myself accountable, right? I guess that means that, you know, because I'm testing to be a professional, no matter what, I have to avoid all dangerous situations. So I'm gonna look at that, and I'm gonna just take that and accept that as truth, right? This is what it is. But for me, I seen her and the lady who failed me the first time talking to each other before she came to test me. So for me, I'm like, you know, shit, they homegirls, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gave her a hard time anyway because I went in and I ain't just accept that, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, nah, that shit ain't right. You can't just fail me, you know? So because I gave her that hard time, you know, she just like, shit, hey sis, go and line this ass up, you know what I'm saying? Nah, we finna fail him, you know? So she found the smallest thing, and I don't even think that was the thing. I don't even think that was a problem. I just think that I did what I was supposed to do in that situation. I was supposed to be turning. He was supposed to be stopping. Obviously, the lights won't be like green on both sides. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know how that worked out, but she failed me because he hit his brakes. And I'm like, that's stupid, bro. All right, cool. I ain't finna argue with y'all. So, of course, I'm disappointed. But, you know, it just made me go harder. You know what I'm saying? So, I said, all right, you know. My lady right there, she just encouraging me or whatever. We both baffled about this because we stayed out here from 8. We woke up like 6:30. Drove out there, got there, took the test at 8, failed. Came back, stayed there and took 3, failed. Got back to the house. Once we got back to our side of town, it's traffic because it's Houston. So, you know, all that shit. Oh my God, it was just something. You know, it was hot. Shit. So I'm like, okay. So I go back, you know, to Houston, and I just, all right, man, I gotta study some more, right? I want to be on my P's and my Q's, so I study for like another week or 2, and then I switch offices. I'm not going there to take my test no more. Fuck that. So they had just opened a DPS office on my side of town. I knew the routes, all that. You know, I didn't know like what route they would have me on, but I knew what the streets and stuff was like. You know, so I go, we meet up, me and the guy who, you know, who worked for the company that, well, I, you know, learn how to drive the truck. I do all my tests, and I was feeling great that day. I be feeling good a lot, really. I don't never really be feeling bad, but I go take my test and I pass. Right, so I'm ecstatic. I'm happy. I'm real happy. So once I pass, I'm like, all right, cool. You know, your boy got his CDL. All right, you know, now what's next? I'm just like everybody else when they get their CDL. Like, you know, we finna get to the money. Truck drivers make money. You know, I'm just all happy and shit. Like my life just finna fucking, everything just gonna fall right in place. I don't got no bills, nothing right now. I'm finna be rich. I'm finna finna come up. You know what I'm saying? I see so much opportunity in truck driving. Okay, so what I do is I go follow my homeboy who told me about the school. So I go to the company that he was working for. It's a company called Silver Eagle Distributors. So I go over there. He wasn't there at the time, I don't think. At least he said he was, but I don't know. Because it seemed like nobody ever knew him. Like one person probably knew him at one company, at the first one, but when I transferred, I don't think nobody knew him. I don't know, man. I don't know how he did it or whatever. He probably worked for a different one. But I go over there and I apply for the company Silver Eagle. You know, they starting out route assistants, because that's what you got to be before you actually get your route. So a route assistant with a CDL in Houston, you start out at $40,000. So I applied to the job, and I was like, yeah, all right, man. I've been talking about it, speaking on it. Yeah, man, I'm gonna get this job. I got this job. I know I'm gonna get this job. They hiring, you know, so I know I'm gonna get this job. You know, I go in, I do my no, I didn't even do that yet. So I'm just talking. Get this job, get this job. So I go to the company. No, I apply to the company, and I'm riding one day. I'm on my way to my parents' house. I get a phone call. After telling everybody that, yeah, I pretty much work here and I don't work here. I haven't gotten a call saying that I work here yet. I just filled out my application and had an over-the-phone interview, but that was it. But, you know, I get a call from the company like, sorry, Mr. Cummins, but we gave somebody else the position. I said, damn, that shit fucked me up, because I'm like, I was so happy, you know what I'm saying? I was so into the idea of, you know, me just everything being smooth. Man, I done failed 2 tests, I done finally passed, and I know like the job that I want, that allow me to be home, I get to be active, all that shit. You know, I'm thinking like I just got it laid out, and then for you to tell me that now I don't get the job, I'm like, damn, man. So I go to the library instantly, like right after she told me that. I went to the library because I'm like, it's time for me to get on it. I got my CD. I don't want to wait too long of having my license and not do nothing with it. I'm tired of being at this damn warehouse. So I 1 second. So I go to the library and I start filling out all the applications for local truck driving jobs where you do like labor and stuff, where you work, you know what I'm saying, like Nestle, Waters, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, I think they're probably the same company. Who else? It's a coffee company. I did everybody except for Cisco. I should have did Cisco, but I didn't know nothing about Cisco then. You know, so I applied for 7 jobs. I had applied for 7 jobs in the library, right? So this is how life works. It's a lesson at the end of all of this, right? And this is just the first experience. This ain't even what's next, what I did after I did that. Like, yo, I got a lot of stuff to tell y'all. So this is how life works. I'm in the library. I'm filling out all the applications. I finished all 7 applications. When I get done with the 7th application, I get a phone call in the library. Guess who it is? Silver Eagle. So I'm like, wow. It's like, hello, is this Mr. Cummins? I'm like, yes, ma'am, it is. She's like, well, we would like to make you a job offer. For real? You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all gonna line me up, y'all gonna give me, you know what I'm saying, opportunity, you know, $40,000. I'm like, shit, boy, I ain't never had $40,000 before, you know, like, I'm just like, you know, my mind's going crazy. I'm 21. I just turned 21. I'm finna be making $40,000 a year. I'm like, my life finna change, you know what I'm saying? Like, wow, you know, what an introduction to the world. So, I'm happy, man. I'm super happy. So I go to orientation, and they see how fit I am for the job. I love to work out. I ain't been working out like that because I drive a truck on a day-to-day basis, but that's no excuse. I worked out yesterday, but in high school, man, I was like one of the hardest working players, people in the school. Like, pound for pound, I think I was probably the strongest person in my school. And that's not even me just over exaggerating. I'm serious. But you know, I like to do rough stuff. I grew up rough, you know what I'm saying? I like to get my hands dirty and do hard work. I don't know why, this is what I like. So I'm all happy and stuff. You know, so I get to the job they're like, oh, okay, this dude can move. You know, he got good work ethic or whatever, right? So then I started working, and they put me on the truck with these guys, man, and it was just a nice experience. I mean, you know, I'm unloading beer. You talking about we roll out with 800 cases. I asked him what time he get back on a normal basis. He don't know why I'm asking him these questions. He looking at me like I'm just some old random person that get a job and they really don't want to work or nothing like that. But he don't know like I'm finna be one of the hardest working people that he ever ran into. I'm serious. Like everybody that I work with, to this day, if I call him and ask him, he was like, man, I ain't ran into nobody that was like you yet. Like, I'm gonna set the bar high. You finna have to, you know what I'm saying? You gonna have to bring it. You know, and it's like, that's just me. It ain't about breaking my back. I don't look at it like that. I just look at it as, you know, you living, this is life. You know, go ahead and give it your best. Give it your all. So I would always give it my all, period. You know what I'm saying? No matter what it was. So, you know, me and him, we rolling in. We getting 800 cases, about 6 stops, and I don't know how much you're driving, man. Maybe 150 miles a day, you know, between different stops. You know, he would drop me off at a large stop and with like 200 cases, and then he'd go take a small stop for like 60 cases. That was like 20 or 30 minutes away, maybe 15 minutes away. He'll go run that, he'll go do that. You know, you gotta down stack. Then once you down stack, you gotta line everything up. You gotta count everything, and then you gotta start taking everything into the cooler. Once you take everything into the cooler, you gotta start rotating the beer. So you gotta take all the old beer, you gotta put it onto the shelf, and you gotta take the boxes, move the boxes out the way, and then you gotta slam all the new beer and pick up all the old beer and put it back on top of the new beer. That way the old beer gets sold and the new beer gets sold in this orderly fashion. So you got all this work to do with a dolly and one person. And these, you know, you talking about a dolly of beer, man. You every time you pick that bad boy up, it's over 300 pounds. You know, so you rolling this in up a kind of, sometimes it's hills, sometimes you gotta like jump the little doorstep. It's all kind of stuff you gotta do, maneuver through people and get through tight aisles and hold the cooler door open. And when you're inside the cooler, it's like I don't know, it's barely enough space for you to walk. You know what I'm saying? So it's all, he's just doing all kind of stuff. And I'm finishing. By the time he get back to me, I'm done. I done put 200 cases up. I done rotated. I done did everything. I done cleaned up. I'm ready to ride. I got the pallet stack. You know what's next? You know, so we blowing through this every day. Whoever I'm with, if I wasn't with him, I was with somebody else. We blowing through it. So a route opened up after about a year of me doing that. But I didn't want the route at that company. I ain't like that route because it was like, no, I just didn't like it. I like getting home at a good time. You know what I'm saying? I hated getting home at like a bad time. And I used to run this route. This route was like by the Houston, Texas football stadium. You know what I'm saying? It was on that side of town. And I didn't really like that side of town because the guy who used to have that route, it was like the streets was too tight. He was like somewhat like downtown in a sense. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't downtown, but he was like close to like, let me see. What's the best way to describe this? Close to like Rice Stadium. Like Rice. No, between not the Rice Stadium, but between Rice University and the Galleria. You know. That's like the area that he had. And I ain't really like that. You know what I'm saying? I used to do it, man, but you stopping on little tight streets, you going, everything is small. I'm just like, man, this long ass truck, it's a 6-speed. I got to shift gears. I wasn't the best at it at the time. I still ain't the best. I got a 10-speed now. I'm not the best at it, but I get it done. But you know, I'm driving through I'm like, nah, bro, I don't want this route. You know what I'm saying? He would get home late. He had on that side of town bars. There's a lot of bars and stuff, so they would open up late in the afternoon. So some days he'll be getting off at 8. I'm like, nah, bro, that's good with you, you know, but that ain't cool with me. I don't like that. I want to get home to my lady and I want to be able to chill. So another route opened up. I was working at the Silver Eagle on 610 and Washington Avenue. So another route opened up at the Silver Eagle on 290, and I believe West Road. So I went over there. I applied to the route. They interviewed me. I got it. I'm happy again because now it says that I make on paper $48,000. This is what it said on paper. That's how much the route paid. And I think is like I don't know if it was some kind of incentive or something. I don't know, but it said 48,000. Okay, cool. But it was more than 48,000 because I had a keg route. So now I'm rolling with the big boys. They used to talk, hey man, them kegs. Now I ain't used to like kegs, but now I started liking kegs. I had a keg route. I was like, okay. I had bars and stuff, so I would roll out with about anywhere between 150 kegs to 250 kegs, and no more than 300 cases of beer, with like 22 stops. And I would go from 249 all the way to, what's the farthest that I went? I-10. No, 249 to 290. That was my route. Like in between, it was like Cypress, Texas. That was like, I had all of that. I had like bars off roads, Telge Road. I was out there about I had stops at the Outlet Mall on 290 and 99. Like that was me, all up and down, Chili's, all that. I had all that. So, you know, day by day, I'm getting it. So you get money when you bring back kegs. A half barrel keg weighs like 150 pounds. Quarter barrel keg weighs about 60 pounds. And a 6 barrel keg weighs about 35 pounds if I'm not mistaken. So I'm rolling out with this every day. And you talking about in the truck with the side doors, and the half barrel kegs are stacked in the cooler. It's 8 of them inside the cooler in one bay. And you got 4 of them at the top. So you got to know how to maneuver them. You know, get them down from, you know, being over your head. You got to be able to drop them down on the ground safely without hurting yourself or nobody around you. And, you know, you'll think that you're just supposed to, like, drop it and slam it, but that ain't the best way to do it. You know, it's a method to it. So once you get all them down from the top, you stack them up. So now you got 2 of them on top. That's 300 pounds. You roll them into the cooler. Boom, you slam it. You take out other kegs, other half barrel kegs, the empty ones. That's your companies. You move them out. And, you sit them to the side, and you put all the other ones in, and as you go back out, you take some empty ones with you, put them in the truck, you know. And sometimes in the cooler, you'll have to put 3 half-barrel kegs on top of each other, so you just got to lift that 150 pounds up over your head and set it on top of the other 2 kegs. And I was like, what the hell? I seen somebody do it, you know, and then that's when I realized, okay, this is just what it is. So I just was doing it. It wasn't no thing with me, you know. You tap in the beer, all kind of stuff I was learning and I was doing, handling all kind of different situations or whatever. So I did that for how long did I do that? I was on that route for like 6 months. I was making 60,000 at this time. Now this is what like my well, it would have been 60,000. It was like 30,000 within 6 months. So I knew that it was on the way to being 60,000. Because you get money for every keg that you bring back, so it would add up throughout the week. My weeks was supposed to be like, I say 50-hour weeks. Man, I wouldn't even work 40 hours. My restaurants, my bars, I ain't had too many clubs. I don't think I had no clubs. I did have like a pool hall. I had some pool hall shit. Everything, like I used to route myself out to where I was able to knock everything out at a certain time, and then I would make it to where we could put certain stops on certain days. So I routed myself out, and I would go to work. Monday was my easy day, and Thursday was my easy day. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday was like my work days. And it was like the full shift days where I do like 9 hours, 8 hours to 9 hours of work. And then on Monday I would do like 4 hours of work. And on Thursday I would do like 6 hours of work. So I'm working like anywhere between 33 hours to 37 hours a week average. I'm on salary. So anything after 40 hours, you finna start losing money. That's just how we was looking at it. You know, so I would go to work and hustle, you know, so I can get to the house. I get home, I'd be off on weekends, and it was a nice little gig or whatever. But it came a point where, you know, I mean, I guess it was time for a change. And hey, I was like, man, I came home one day, and my lady was like, she had went to this job, and at the job that she had went to, she met this lady. And the lady that she had met, the lady told her about she was finna go team drive for her husband over the road. So, you know, I'm looking. She come home, she all excited. Now, when I first started driving, the goal was never to go over the road. The goal was to stay home, all lovey-dovey and be close, and I don't want to leave you, and you know, she didn't want to leave me, all that, right? That's the goal. This is what we discussed, you know. So now she telling me she want a team drive. So I'm like, all right, cool, you know, I'm ready for change anyways. Let's go ahead and do it. I don't got no kids, we can live it up, you know. Let's go over the road. So I started doing research too. I had never looked into truck driving, right? I thought I was a truck driver until I became a truck driver. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought I was one doing that for a year until I became a truck driver. So and not to discredit anybody that's local, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, it's just a difference in the lifestyle and all of that. You know, like a local guy. I mean, yeah, you're a local truck driver, cool, man, but it's a whole nother ball game out here, like on the road. You know, if you never did it, you know, you can't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't speak on it, but I've done both, and I know that it's a big difference. So, like I said, I thought I was a truck driver until I became one. So she come home, she like, yeah, the lady told me about team driving, how her husband is gonna go team drive. So I started doing research on it. I look on YouTube, Sean Parks pop up. I'm checking him out. There's another couple, they popped up. They used to work for Hogan Transportation. I used to watch them, they was cool. And the dude gave me some good advice. They was kind of an inspiration for us to go ahead and do it, because it was him and his lady. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking, like, all right, we finna line this shit up. We finna go ahead and get out here. We're gonna team drive. So then I bump, Sean working at Prime Inc. I'm like, hey, Prime the place to be. I'm seeing these checks and the numbers and stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we go over here and we team. I start, I learn, you get trained. And then when you're finished and I'm finished, we lease a truck and we team right now. I'm thinking to myself, hey, all right, we finna go over here. They telling me, like, team, if you team, you're gonna bring home, let's just say $2,500 minimum. As a team at Prime, each individual. So that's $5,000 in-house a week. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, we finna be good. You talking about $20K a month? That's $250,000 a year. The math adds up. I know all the situations don't add up, but everything else add up. So I'm like, okay, we do this from 22 to 25. That's the goal, right? That's what we just talking, right? You do this from 22 to 25, and shit, that'd be $750,000. That shit crazy, ain't it? If life was so easy. So I'm like, life ain't hit me yet at all. I'm talking about, oh man, it ain't hit me at all. So I'm all ecstatic and stuff, and I'm just blown away. Like, I can't believe she wants to go and drive with me and team drive or whatever. So she say, well, give me 4 months to think about it. Like what? What are you talking about? 4 months? I can't give you 4 months. Like, life is happening. What are you talking about 4 months? You tripping, man. So I wasn't really feeling that 4 months. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you. She kind of had me feeling some kind of way about that. So she yeah, I want to do it, but I just have to see. I might be scared. So now she overthinking shit. I'm like, bro, just come do it, man. It's easy. It's automatic truck. You don't got to shift nothing. Just come on, man. We can go think about this. In 3 years, we'll have so much capital to where we'll be set for the rest of our life. Basically, that's how I'm looking at it. We can just stay out. It's just me and you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. It's just us. Nothing. This is us. 3 years of this, and we good, bro. No. I think I waited like a month and a half, 6 weeks. Gave her space. It was so bad though, because I was feeling some kind of way towards it. Like, it was so bad to where I would look at her and cry. And this is true. I'm serious. Like, it was that bad. I would look at her and I would cry. I was that frustrated with her, man. I was so frustrated with her because I'm like, bro, how you don't see the benefit is how you gonna allow your fear to stop you from living? You know what I'm saying? Like, why you finna do this? Don't come to me with something and you get me all riled up, aroused, and I'm stirred up, ready to go, and then you ain't even ready to commit. I'm ready. I'm off top. We would have been gone. Shit, fuck with me. We would have been gone next week. You know what I'm saying? From the week you told me, we would have been gone that next week. We would have had them broke the lease on the apartment, paid to get out of it. Hey, man, we ain't got no bills. We out here. I would have tried to make this. I would have tried to make this like the best thing ever. I would have just tried to capitalize on the opportunity at the time. I didn't know much about life, but I seen the numbers and I just seen possibility, right? So, I couldn't wait for her, man, and she wasn't coming. She was just bullshitting. So, I apply to prom. They send me a bus ticket and I go. I leave. I go to prom. I get out there, Springfield, Missouri. It's all nice and beautiful. It's just different. It's a whole different vibe because I had never been to Missouri. You know, I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, and moved to Houston, Texas when I was 13. So, you know, I mean, I've been in North Carolina before, but I was like a kid. But then, that's it. Just that little, you know, that 90-degree angle. That's all I know. So going to Springfield is a whole new experience, man. So I get to Springfield, I go through proms, orientation process and all that kind of stuff, and I go ahead and get on the trainer's truck. I needed 15,000 miles because they was trying to throw me out to the wolves. They was like, oh, you got truck driving experience. We're gonna get you right. You know how to drive a semi truck. I'm like, shit, yeah, but no. No, I don't know how to drive a semi truck, right? You know, like, I need to be trained. So they sent me out with a trainer for 15,000 miles. And my trainer was cool, you know, but he had a lot going on. He was trying to make me stay on his truck for 6 weeks. I knew that because I'm like, bro, like 15,000 miles. I'm doing the math on how many miles we're supposed to be hitting a week. We supposed to be done with this thing in 2.5, 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? But 2.5, 3 weeks went by and I still got time to go. I'm like, no. He had a 10 speed. I had to learn the first day out. We going to California and shit. I'm hitting mountains and stuff. Was I hitting? Yeah, a little bit of hills. It was dark too. He had me driving night shift. I think I was in Amarillo, somewhere in Texas. Not Amarillo. Ain't really no hills in Amarillo, but wherever I was, I know I started hitting some hills and whatever. Probably in New Mexico the next day or something. But you know, I'm driving. That's my shift, night shift, 10 speed. Okay, he back there resting. Man, you know, this is a new experience. It's pitch black out here. There's hills and curves and stuff in Missouri. To me, them was mountains, you know. So, all mountains and whatever. You know, got me driving in the mountains in this truck. He back there asleep. Okay, cool. So I'm doing that, and eventually, you know, I finish that process and I get my own truck. And once I get my truck, I go get my lady, and we got 2 dogs, Poochie and Yogi. Yogi gonna be on the channel. He ain't on the truck today. I left him at the house. Poochie just had another litter of puppies. That's it. She done. We kept her daughter from her only daughter from her first litter. She with Yogi at my mama's house. So I'm gonna go get Yogi. I'm thinking about bringing Pep, which is Poochie's daughter. I'm thinking about bringing her, putting her on the truck too. But I know for a fact I'm gonna get Yogi. Yogi is my Blue Brindle pit bull. Yeah, American and XL bully mix, but y'all will see him. That's my boy. So yeah, it's me, her, and the 2 dogs. You know, and we on the truck. We at prom, and we living life. You know, and man, we say okay. We stayed out for 3 months straight. I had to figure out the system. I had to figure out how to run. My first check at prom was $2,500, man, in my pocket. That was my first check, $2,500, and my truck payment came out that week. So that $1,200, excuse me, that $1,200 plus the fuel, it all came out that week. Because it's just the day that I had left on. But $2,500 was my first check. I was so happy. I was so happy, man. I almost was late to one of the appointments. I got there like 10 minutes before it's time for me to be late. Like before I was like almost like late. And it was at Walmart too. But you know, I was just so happy. I ain't never seen $2,500 in 7 days of my life. Like, bro, I just worked 7 days and I made $2,500. I hit the jackpot, right? So I do this for about 3 months. I ain't gonna say I made $2,500 every week. No, it was, I say an average for me at Prime as a lease operator was $1,500 to $2,000. You know, that was for me. I'm not gonna speak on that subject. That could be a sticky subject for people who drive at Prime as a lease operator, because everybody different. But I know that I ran my truck the same way Woody ran his truck, because I follow his. Yeah, we broke down a video about how to do your lease at Prime. So he was like, gross over $4,000. That's what I would do. I would gross over $4,000, and my fuel would never go over $850 in a week. So, you know, I would make money based on that, based on how much I gross and based on my fuel. But I could not control where I went. So if I only grossed $3,700 or $3,600, and I was in a place where it was tolls, and also like she wouldn't give me the best loads, I wouldn't even like argue with her or nothing like that at first. But you know, that's, you know, like it was my situation, man. Anyways, that's what I was making. So the first 3 months we didn't go home, you know, trying to learn this, you know, trying to save up some money too, and just learn the system. So I figured out the system. I learned how it worked. I got more consistent with my checks or whatever. But then there's all kind of stuff that could pop up. So I started driving at Prime in August. I get my truck in October or September, and then from there, here I am, just, you know, I'm thinking everything good until the snow hit. Now I ain't never really seen snow. It snowed in Houston one time when I was a teenager, but that, what is that? You know what I'm saying? What is that? Snow in Houston, you know, teenager, like it wasn't no real snow. You know, me coming from Florida, like I was happy to see it though, you know, but I didn't know what snow was until I got over the road. So I got out here, and then it started snowing and shit. I was like, bro, hold on, this is beautiful, but this shit's scary. This is dangerous. Like, dang, like, okay, you can't see nothing. You can't see no lines on the road. You got super truckers flying by you in these big old long nose Peterbilts and Kenworths. You feeling, I'm cruising, you know, I'm Prime Inc. 58, you know, I'm going slower than that though. This is when it snowed, I wasn't going that fast, but just in general though. But in the snow, I wasn't ready for the ice. I wasn't ready for the wind. I wasn't ready for the cold. I wasn't ready for none of that. My skin cracking. I'm itching just because my skin dry. Like that, you know, that's an uncomfortable situation. But you know, we made the best of it, man. So it was just a new experience. That's what we chase. That's what we love. We love experiences. Like, you know, life is a big experience. So we love life, and everything new, you know, we just embrace it. So we embraced it, and we enjoyed ourselves. We had a good time. But then something, I guess, tragic, right? I don't like it, you know, I'm not gonna play victim in that like that, but something tragic or unfortunate is probably a better word. Something unfortunate happened within my family. So I think that I'm gonna go and stop it right there, and I'm gonna say that part. You know, if y'all tune in, you know, y'all like and subscribe, comment, you know, if y'all interact with me, I guess I interact more with y'all. So, you know, if y'all really want to watch it, just let me know. If y'all want to know what happened next, let me know. But some stuff happened, and it took everything to a whole nother level. So now this is gonna be a lot, you know what I'm saying? That's the beginning of how I pretty much started trucking. And that's all within not even 2 years, like 18 months, almost 2 years, you know. So that's that time frame. So, and I'm almost 4 years in, so I got a lot of time I got a lot of different experiences that I think everybody would like to hear. I'm gonna say it anyways. I'm gonna talk about it in another video. I don't want to just keep rambling on, because this shit can turn to 5 hours of me just talking about what I've been experiencing. I want to break it up into increments, you know. So that's that. I left off on that. Okay. So yeah, I get back with y'all. With y'all with another video on what took place, and coming all the way up to this point. But I'm gonna break it up, like I said. So yeah, that's the gist of how I got started in trucking. The lesson that life is teaching me in the beginning, when I was claiming that I had a job and I didn't have it yet. The first lesson, when I failed my test 2 times in one day, it was to you got to be consistent. I felt like I asked for it. I was praying for a change. I'm not religious, but I still have faith, and I was putting it out there that this is what I wanted, right? And I feel like sometimes life it'll open up that opportunity for you, open up that door for you, and it'll test you to see if that's what you really want. Are you really committed to it? So, me failing the first time was like, wow, some people would have gave up. Then me failing the second time was even more of a bummer, because it made me just feel even that much more worse about myself, right? I started beating myself up, so then come the third time, I wasn't finna fail. So it's like, you're gonna go through all kinds of different challenges and situations, and you're gonna fall, but you gotta get up. You're gonna fall, but you gotta get up. You can't give up. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get up. And all that happening, that experience of me failing 2 times in one day and getting up was preparing me for something way more greater, and I feel like it has taken place. So that ties into what I'm talking about next. The lesson, that lesson ties into other lessons, but it also ties into other experiences. So it was necessary for me to learn that lesson by going through that experience. And then the second experience was me applying for that job, claiming that I had it and I didn't have it. But me also being consistent again, going to the library and actually, applying for all kind of different truck driving jobs. That was that lesson for me. Life was trying to humble me. Life was like, hey man, don't speak too soon. You ain't got that yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, relax. Hey, don't count your chickens before they hatch. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be where you are. Don't try to be in the future. Like, you claiming it or whatever, but I take this from you. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I put it right there just to say, oh, you gotta be quicker than that. Like, so for me, excuse me. But for me, I seen it as life was humbling me. It humbled me for sure. It was like, you want something, you got to be humble about it. You know what I'm saying? About going to get it. Don't be so boastful. Because I was kind of boastful, man. I was very, oh yeah, man, I'm finna get this job. They pay $40,000, and I'm trying to tell everybody they should get their CDL. And it's like, dude, I don't even have this job yet, and I'm talking like I just got it all, or I'm finna have this job, and I just know that I'm finna have it. So that was the second lesson from that experience. But this channel is going, like I said, it's going to be about my life experiences and stuff like that, man. So and my lessons, the lessons that I learned from life. Man, life teaches me a lot. Like I say, Bubba, that's my nickname. You know what I'm saying? My whole family, everybody I grew up with in Florida, that's what they called me. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bubba. Everybody know me as Bubba. You know what I'm saying? I don't really refer myself as Bubba. I just tell people my name is Azel, but that's always, I guess, difficult for people to pronounce. For some reason, you see the I, but you want to say E. Everybody want to say E. Some people get it right, and I appreciate the people that get it right. But, for some people who just want to be, funny or whatever, I don't get mad. I just, all right, cool, it's whatever. I don't mind. Call me what you want to call me. Shit don't fucking matter. It's just a title anyways. So whatever. But Bubba, like I say, that's a name that everybody called me all my life. That was the first name my mama called me when she had me, was Bubba. La Vie, that's my daughter's last name, which will one day probably become my last name. La Vie means life, you know, so in a sense it's Bubba's Life. That's the name of this channel, you know what I'm saying? And I'm basically gonna be talking to y'all about all my different experiences and the lessons that I learned from life on my day-to-day basis. On a day-to-day basis, you know. It's always something to learn because you're always experiencing something, you know. Some people, I guess, you look at an experience as something that is in the future and you're going to go do. We're going to go skydiving. That's an experience, but where you currently are at is also an experience, you know. So it's like, just learn. I'm always dissecting life. I'm always dissecting what I'm experiencing because I feel like in a way I'm always experiencing myself from infinite different perspectives. Life or God is everything, and it is everybody, and it is me, you know, but it's teaching me through everything else, you know what I'm saying? So I'm learning more about myself and discovering, I guess, certain truths, right, about life, you know, just on my day-to-day experiences. And I want to share some of the stuff with y'all on YouTube. I know some people may not like the video, some people may not watch the whole video. That's cool, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I always look at things as, if it's meant, it's gonna be. So whoever this video is meant for, you know, I hope that you was able to see where I was coming from, or able to understand the picture that I was painting, and I hope that you was able to take something from it, and you know, and it can help you out in life, you know. So yeah, that's the end of this video for today. I hope everybody enjoy their weekend. Be safe. You know, don't forget to love. You know what I'm saying? I know that could be tough for a lot of people. You know, men, we like to be brute, right? I don't want to show no love. Nigga, fuck love. You know, all that stupid ass shit. But don't forget to love. Don't forget to laugh. And just be grateful, man. Be mindful. And be kind, you know. Be kind. Help somebody out, you know. But y'all have a good day, and I get back at y'all with another video. Peace.